Okay, so what are the pointers and arteries to city development? What are the pointers and arteries to city development? Of course, I've talked about the reason why land will always be very, very valuable. 75% of the surface area of Earth is filled up with water. And there's something that we've always been saying, right? I was watching the podcast. I don't know whether some of us saw the podcast of the Commissioner for the Environment in Lagos. Please, immediately after this session, go and Google it. Commissioner for Environment in Lagos. I think his name is Engineer Wahab or something like that. I can't remember his name. But there was a podcast he did of recent. And he laid claim to, he said, everybody that is doing dredging, we have always been saying this, we've said it, he said, nature will always find a way to refill whatever you have dredged. He said, nature will always, so there is no technology in the real sense to create more land. Even if you dredge the whole of lagoon, the sand you are dredging, nature will, one day you just see one place in the, God forbid, will just collapse, the whole island will just collapse, because nature will always find its way. So land remains the most valuable means of creating wealth and also retaining wealth, and it will forever be. It will forever be. Okay? And what increases the value of land? We've said this several times. Okay? It's not just population. It is not just population. It is when you move to a certain area, you know, when your income is at a particular level, and your income begin to increase and they begin to boggle your car in a particular area, that's when you will know that you can be a tenant and a landlord at the same time. It will come to you by revelation, or by it will not come to you by revelation, it will come to you by practicality. Okay? There are some areas that you can just own property, right? You can just own property, own the asset there. But one of the main things that make land to be very, very valuable is very simple. It is the quality of people and scarcity of land. The quality of people and scarcity of land. Some areas has both, some areas has one. I mean, the perfect example has always been the example OC usually make, and I've cited something similar today already. If you are driving from the airport, Lagos Airport, all the way to, you want to exit Lagos State via the Agege Motor Road. So from Pensinima all the way to Abule Egba, there are series of estates on your right hand side, about a number of them. Okay, on the left hand side, on the right, you know, the funniest thing about that road is that on the right is Ifako Ijaye local government, on the left is Agege local government. So on the right, I mean, it's just estate from the beginning to the end. The only thing that is not there is government-owned property, apart from estate. Every other thing on that axis are just estates, small, big, and all of that. And a plot of land on the right goes for as much as 280 million naira for 600 square meter plot of land. That was the same plot of land I said somebody bought 20 years ago for 2.5 million naira. I don't know of any property that you can buy, or that you, of any business rather, sorry, not property, of any business that you can do, even if we do the dollar exchange, that you can do with 2.5 million naira, that's without just fencing it, without so much expenses, without paying salary, that without paying staff, without paying tax, without paying a whole lot of stuff, and the value will now be 280 million naira now. Especially in Nigeria, not so many of them, and I believe land is one of those that can give you. And on the left hand side is Agege local government, and Agege, yes, Ori Agege and Agege local government area, but on the same road. In fact, property facing the road is less than half of the one within an estate, and the one within an estate is basically because of the quality of people that live within. And it shows when you enter some of those estates. Third road, well organized, security, CCTV, all of this is what most of the people within those estates enjoy. And on the other hand, you know, you have to, there's no security, nothing of such. Okay, so what are the benefits of buying into Richland City? And I want to really, I just need to use this example. Some couple of weeks ago, I went for a conference. It's FIABC World Real Estate Conference, and one of the somebody was asked to come and pitch Nigerian real estate market, because 57 countries were represented there. Nigeria was the host, so they usually take the conference, World Real Estate Conference, to different countries. So Nigeria was the host of this year's conference. It's the 75th conference, right? And so Nigeria hosted this. So we were given the opportunity to come and pitch Nigerian real estate to the audience. And the man did a perfect job. And what he said was that it's very simple. He said everybody should bring out their phone and check the price of 1,000 square meter in Lekki Phase 1 in 1990. And we check it, it was 800,000 naira. He said, what was the exchange rate in 1990? We checked the exchange rate in 1990. I think that 800,000 exchange rate in 1990 was like maybe 80 something or 90 something or something like that. Eventually we got like maybe $15,000 or $50,000. I can't remember the precise figure now. I think $50,000. And I said, now in the same Lekki Phase 1, a plot of land on the same measurement is going for almost $1 billion. He now said, let's pick a fair value of 500 million. Right? 500 million. So we pick 500 million. And he said, what's the exchange rate now? He said, we should divide this. By the time we did the division, the investment of less than $50,000 in 1990 is now over 500,000 And all the foreigners there said, wow. And he threw a challenge to all the foreigners there. He said, if we can get such return in your country, please raise up your hand. And nobody could raise up their hand, because obviously there's no way they could get such return in their country. And basically, that is the reason why I actually wanted to, that's the reason behind presenting the Richland offer to us. Okay, so Richland City is a series, and currently we are on series number 2 in the series of Richland City, right? We've done currently on Richland City of Obafemi Owode, and also we are on Richland City Imota Ikorodu, and it's an eco-friendly living. It's not a anyhow living. It's a city that has the future in mind. It's a city that has the future in mind. It's not just about, it's actually about the future. What does the future hold for anybody that is going to be investing in any of these Richland projects, right? So let's now look at some of the offers that we have. Like I said, for those that are just joining us, we've discussed a lot of stuff already. So I want to encourage you to type your questions in case you have any question. So please do type your questions, and we'll attend to your question. Okay. So for Richland City Obafemi Owode, basically we have 2 types of plots that are available there. We have what we call the 500 square meter plot, and we have what we call the 3,000 square meter plot. So the 3,000 square meter is just basically a concept for those that want to have their own estate within an estate for bulk purchase, right? You are planning to buy for the purpose of reselling in the future. Imagine those that bought Lekki Phase 1, for instance, which was for those of us that are probably very young or very old, Lekki Phase 1 is modified and glorified Maroko that got swamped so many years ago. You can Google it, just Google Maroko on Google and watch videos. There are some old archive videos and some newspaper report of what happened to the Maroko. It was just repackaged into Lefty Phase 1. Are we all together? If you can still hear me loud and clear, can you just type 1, please? I just need to be sure. You know, when you are doing online, it can be very boring. So you need to please type 1 so that you know that you are not just home alone. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for following my story. So for this Richland City of Bafemi Wode is still at the pre-launch state. And this, please let us know this. For anybody that is thinking of doing land banking, please listen to this and listen to this very, very carefully. Because I've seen a whole lot of stuff. I talk to people about land banking and all of that. Most of the time, Nigerians don't think long term. And believe me, land banking is a long term game. Look at 1990 and now. 1990 and now is 35 years old. I hope my calculation is correct. 1990 and now is 35 years. Look at the story I shared. Somebody bought a land for 2.5 million 20 years ago. Is 2005. So, for this project, which we are not thinking of 5 years, we are not thinking 2 years, we are not thinking 1 year. I always advise people, right? Anytime I'm telling you land banking, just put your mind to 10 years time. And you see, you know the funniest thing is this. A lot of people feel that 10 years is far. Let me shock you. When was the time we were all protesting and saying that Jonathan should leave, that Buhari is our savior? That was 10 years ago. I just want to give you perspective. Do you know that COVID is more than 5 years now? COVID, when we all sat down at home, or when you learn how to use Zoom, was 5 years ago. Before, we can't, let me use our language, before language. We don't used to do all these things. So it's meeting upon meeting the office. That was 5 years ago, brethren and ladies and gentlemen. So if you think that 10 years is far, don't worry, don't do anything. 10 years will come now. I was telling my wife, I said, hey, all this one that all my friends are doing 40 years old like this, we got in Darugbo now. You understand? So there's nothing, just buy. Because see, even if you don't buy, and that's the truth, even if you don't buy, some couple of 10 years ago, we did a project and we sold that project for 150,000 naira. And there are people that are reselling now for millions. And I was just wondering that some of these people, as at that time too, there was a phone of 150,000. They could have used the money to buy a phone 10 years ago. The same way now, 500 square meter. In fact, 500, you can't even buy iPhone 16 with the money of 500. You can't buy iPhone 15. If you want to buy iPhone 17 that will soon come out, is the money for 1 acre. You understand? So because when it comes to investment, we are basically playing with time. So I'm just giving us perspective, because sometimes in some people's mind now, the virus of 10 years, especially Nigeria, especially for those of us that are born in Nigeria, I don't know where we clock that, we catch that. We don't just think long term, as if 10 years will not come, as if we are planning to die in the next 2 years. I don't know why, but it's unfortunate. But I want us to think long term, right? So this project is not, it's not a project because we want to get every detail right. For us, it's beyond a legacy project. It's posterity for us, so that people will look back and say, oh, thank God I bought into that project. So you can buy 500 square meter, you can buy 3,000 square meter. There are a lot of benefits. Number one, you are going to be getting free architectural drawing, design, and that alone is worth 1.5 million naira. The fact that it's free to you does not mean that it does not cost us something. It's only going to be free to you. And also you have opportunity to pay for between 0 to 6 months For instance, now if you are doing 3,000 square meter, all you just need to do to lock it down is 500,000 naira. And the price for 3,000 square meter currently, the way as it is right now, is just 6 million naira. And all you are just doing is to lock it down with 500,000 naira. And if you are doing 500 square meter, which is 1.5 million naira now, all you just need to do is to lock it down with 100,000 naira. What does that mean? Locking it down means is basically that making that as a show of interest, basically, and you now have the opportunity to spread the balance over the remaining 5 months of your 6 months. Are we together? And also, in addition to this, you are getting a bill of quantity, so that in case you want to even build, you know, for those of us that are Christian here, said nobody builds a tower without first sitting down and counting the cost. That counting the cost is called bill of quantity. Okay, so you get that bill so that you can have a pictorial representation and value in mind. Okay, for instance, I'm buying 3,000 square meter. I want to build a country home. What will it look like if I'm doing 4-bedroom bungalow, for instance, or 3-bedroom bungalow, for instance? That bill will guide you. Okay, one of the other things that you are going to be getting is expert supervision. We won't leave you alone without guidance, even though we are not Holy Spirit, but we will not leave you alone without guidance. Okay, and adequate security of your property too is also there, right? We'll guide you. This is what to do, how to go about it, all of that. You see, for us at Life Page, we are big when it comes to knowledge. We will share, we will teach you and teach you and teach you until you succeed. Okay, and even though you are getting the price of the 3,000 square meter for 6 million naira, that's just a pre-launch, right? The original and the real price at the point of launch, which is going to be very, very soon, just around the corner, right? It's going to be 9 million naira. Okay, because of our time, because this meeting is supposed to be 1 hour, so I don't want to take too much of our time. So this is for Richland City of Bafemi Owode. So for our project at Richland City, Imota Ikorodu, okay, so for Richland City, Imota Ikorodu, massive project. So for those that don't know where this project is located, right? This project is located within the boundary of Lagos State and Ogun State. So there's a part of Imota Ikorodu that is in Lagos, and there's also a part of Imota Ikorodu that is in Ogun State. However, don't bother cracking your head about anything. So all you just need to do is that, as we are talking to you right now, there's a link that will be dropped in the chat room. So please, let's drop the link in the chat room. On Thursday, this coming Thursday, we're going to be having a site inspection. That's 10th of July to that site. It's going to be massive. We are preparing like never before, right? And also, our board chairman is going to be live at that site inspection in person of Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He's going to be live at that on that site. So you see Dr. Olumide Emmanuel Korokoro. You'll be seeing him on Reels, on TikTok, and all of that. You know, there are some things he has said that has pinched your body before. Don't worry. Come and hear it live so that it can pinch your heart again. Okay, so that project is massive. So, I mean, this very particular project is massive. So you see the project is our first ever site inspection to that project. And also this project is a massive land banking project on that location. So basically you'll be getting a whole lot, right? But we also have it in 500 square meter, and also we have it in 3,000 square meter. And for anybody buying 500 square meter, is going for 500 square meter is going for 2.1 million naira, and 3,000 square meter is going for 10.5 million naira. All are pre-launch. These are all pre-launch price. Okay, for 3,000 square meter, the actual price is 17.5. And after that site inspection, most likely we'll just jack the price up. Okay, because the pre-launch will end and it will go back to the normal price. So let's take advantage of it right now. And we are not asking you to drop the whole 17.5 million. So flexible payment plan is available. And if you can afford to drop the whole the whole 10.5 billion, you can also drop it, right? And please, there are people that are listening to me right now, because this has happened over and over again. There are people that will now say, okay, since I'm just getting to know the company, let me just buy 500 square meter. If you can afford to buy 3,000 square meter, buy it, so that later in the future you now not be saying, and I had that money. Had I known is the last word of a fool. I'm not saying you are a fool, but I'm just saying that don't say had I known, had I known. You have known now. That's why we are. You see, what this session we have is recorded. Okay, so you can hold us by our words, right? So everything, we will not promise anything that we will not eventually deliver. We will deliver it. And by God's grace, one thing I can tell you is that there is no project we've done that is more than 3 years old upward that we don't have at least minimum of one person living there or one completed house. So it's not, we are not selling audio land. I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. Even the one that we sold as land banking, some people parking there 8 years ago, they said to us it's land banking, to them it's their dream home. So you understand? So it's not audio land. And see, I mean, some of us are hearing the news now. Delivering land in Nigeria is not easy. We are delivering with sweat and blood. Delivering on promise is not easy, because sometimes you can plan everything on paper. Nigeria will just happen. And customer will not know that Nigeria has happened to you. They will just say, you promised, but you promised now, but you said it. And you people's mouth is always sweet. You come be telling us, we too we know, and we are going to deliver. So take advantage. That's basically where I'm actually going tonight. Take advantage. And so in case you need our frequently asked question, we are not dropping the link for this site inspection. Am I the only one online? Please, let's drop the link for the site inspection in the chat room so that people can pick it up and register for it now. So in case you need any of, you need flyers, you need frequently asked questions, you need a form, go through the form, read all our FAQs. Everything that we have shared there, we stated it in the FAQ. Nothing hidden. There's nothing like hidden charges. You can read. If you can read and write, everything is stated, right? We are stating everything, and it's in black and white. And you will sign before we even collect money from you at all. So you understand, so that it will not be that I was deceived, I was manipulated, I was coerced, nothing like that. Okay, so it's a long-term game, and it's better we get it done. So in case you need any of those things, so please let's reach out to our official phone numbers, which is 090 6000 5747, 090 6000 5737. Okay, so there are different pickup points for the site inspection that is happening this Thursday. And for those that are not in Lagos, because I can see that quite a number of people said they are not in Lagos, please, if you can come to Lagos, good. But if you can't come to Lagos, you are not in the country, look for somebody in whose sense of judgment you can trust, so that the person can represent you at the site inspection. You don't want to be told. Please, you do not want to be told. So please, very, very, very important. You don't want to be told. Try to come, even though we will do video. Yoruba said that whatever you see with your eye is not as valid as reports. Okay, but we'll do video, we'll send it to you, but try as much as possible. And if you have a 9 to 5, please take excuse. Come and see where your future money is going into. That's just my own advice anyway. So, or you can send someone also whose sense of judgment you can trust. Okay, so I think at this point in time, I'll just hand over to OC so that we can take questions, or let's just take questions.
What are you having?